Hi there, Barb here from Above the Fold, Canada. I wanted to come online and chat for a few minutes about the upcoming Get Found on Google Live session that we have coming up. I've had a few questions from people thinking about taking the program. And so it seemed like a good opportunity to come on, chat with a whole bunch of people, and just tell you a little bit more about the program and why I think it would be a great fit for your business. So we're going to wait and see if we get a few people on live. If you do have comments throughout the webinar, please throw your questions into the comments and I will be able to see the questions that are coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll introduce myself because I suspect that many people who are watching haven't met me before. So my name is Barb McGrath and I'm the owner of a company called Above the Fold Canada. Above the Fold Canada is a local business marketing company. And what I mean by that is we support the business that is locally owned or needs to succeed at the local level. Hi Brandy, thanks for joining. So when we developed Get Found on Google, we developed it specifically for local businesses that needed any sort of assistance getting found on Google. And for lots of people, they've come back and they've said, well, why do we need to get found on Google? Who cares? I do social media, I'm fine. And in fact, I'm not going to tell you that you don't need to do social media. In fact, social media is a great awareness tool. But when we focus on Get Found on Google, we're looking at those core elements that help a business find a customer in the moment that they're ready to make a purchase. So I'll go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about the program, talk about the types of things that you can learn from the program, and talk about some of the outcomes that you can have for your business. So Get Found on Google is Saskatchewan's only in-person, live, hands-on training session. And when I talk about it being hands-on, in lots of cases you can take an online training program or go to a presentation and hear all these great ideas that you'd love to be able to implement in your business. And what we do in Get Found on Google that's really different from a lot of these programs is we actually log in and work right on your business. So this is a workshop on your business. We're not just talking about the things that you can do. We're actually showing you how to do it, and we're helping you actually do the things that we're talking about so that you can see immediate impact for your business. When we look at the background, so to speak, for Get Found on Google, Get Found on Google would be that foundational local business marketing class. Without a solid foundation, just like building a house, anything else that you do is going to be less effective. And so Get Found on Google becomes that solid foundation upon which you can grow your business. That's why we encourage anyone who relies on local customers to join the program or join the class, I guess, the workshop. Some of the different businesses that we might see at Get Found on Google are your nonprofits, your charitable organizations, a shoe store, a restaurant, the types of businesses that rely on foot traffic to come through the door to help them be successful. Hi Tracy, thanks for joining. So who will benefit from Get Found on Google? And I've actually yet to find anyone who doesn't benefit, but that's not a good answer. So when we look primarily at who has taken the class before and who has most benefited from the class, they've been local business owners, entrepreneurs, or a marketer responsible for that local business. A little bit later in the presentation, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of some of the businesses that have participated in the program, and then you'll hear a little bit more. And for those of you that do tune in to the end, Tracy and Brandy, if you do tune into the end, I've got a couple of extra bonuses for you. There's 2 of them, but you do have to stick around till the end. So I hope you'll stay with me. So, so who's going to benefit? So we talked about that local business marketer responsible for a local business. Google provides a huge number of free tools to a local business. And we're not going to cover them all in this workshop because, to be honest, it would be overwhelming. But we're going to cover a significant number of the tools that Google provides for free to a local business. Just to give you a quick history, probably 10 years ago, a decade ago, as businesses were competing for landscape on Google, local businesses were really getting left behind. And that was never Google's intent. And in fact, they recognized what was happening and changed the tools that they made available to businesses to try and support the local business more. So what we're going to learn in this class is a result of that change from Google. We're going to look specifically at the tools that Google provides to a business. You're going to have access. You're going to know exactly what you need to do with each of the tools, how to use it, how often to use it, and how to take best advantage of each of those tools. So we're going to talk about everything from listings to websites and something called SEO, or search engine optimization. And in some cases, you may not feel comfortable making changes while we're in the class, but you're still going to have a great chance to learn and understand the language and feel comfortable with it. One of the questions that I often get from people thinking about taking Get Found on Google, clearly I haven't had enough coffee yet today. One of the questions that I often get from people is, they're really nervous. They're unsure. They're not comfortable that they're going to be able to keep up. And in fact, the whole program was built around the business owner who in many cases is unsure in that technology environment. See, I'm talking with my hands, but they're way over here. There we go. So the business owner who, they are a little bit uncomfortable. They're a little bit unsure. That's who this program is geared towards. If you are slick and savvy with technology and you know how to zip around all of the different tools that are out there, then to be honest, thanks for tuning in, and this probably isn't the class that you need to take. This class is geared towards those who want to increase their comfort level with technology and with the tools to get their business found online. So if you are just starting to feel confident or want to feel more confident, then this is a fantastic class for you to think about. So will Get Found on Google help me be on the first page of Google? And again, lots of you who are listening to this webinar in the replay haven't had a chance to meet me before, but my approach is always to look at conversion. So how can you acquire or find a new customer and work your way back into the nice things to do. And so we always start with, what are the activities you need to do to find more customers now? And then we'll work our way back into the nice to do stuff. So there's only three ways that you can get your business found on Google. And the first is paid advertising. Those are the websites that appear at the top of a search result. You can also have a listing. And the third way is simply to have your website appear on that first page. And I always talk about the importance of the first page. This is an old joke, but it's still a good joke. And in fact, so I'll just throw it out there, and anybody who's listening, you're welcome to throw your answers into the comments. But where do you hide a dead body? On the second page of Google, because no one goes there anymore. If you want to get your business found, you need to be on the first page. Okay, so that's what we focus on. So what we're going to teach you and Get Found on Google is what you need to do and how you need to do it to get your business on that first page. We can't guarantee, nor can any business out there guarantee, that they can get you on the first page of Google. And I won't promise that your business is going to be on the first page after a single session. We have had clients that that's happened to, but that's not my approach. My approach is to give you the knowledge and the power to know what to do, so that if the first page of Google is something that you'd like to achieve as a business, these are the steps that you're going to need to take to get there. Depending on the industry that you work in, some industries are more competitive, and so it's going to take longer to get onto that first page. In other cases, an industry isn't as competitive, and you can get onto the first page a little bit easier. Okay. Why does being on the first page matter? I'm just trying to look through some of the questions that came in. And there's some really good questions here, but why does being on the first page of Google matter? So let's talk about that just for a second. If you're looking for a restaurant, you're in downtown Regina and you're looking for a restaurant, chances are you Google restaurant near me. Or you want to buy a new pair of running shoes, so you look for shoe stores near me. It's one of the most popular searches on Google. And in the course, I'm actually going to show you how we find out what's popular in terms of topics that people are searching for. But if someone has searched for restaurants near me, shoe stores near me, or coffee shops near me, if you are one of those businesses, you need to come up. You need to be listed. And that's what we're going to talk about. How do I get my business to appear? I'm a coffee shop. I never show up when people Google. How do I get my business to appear? It's not very often that someone will go to their favorite social media platform and search for a shoe store. They just don't. But what happens instead is, if you're a shoe store and you're posting regularly to social media, you will hopefully get your content in front of potential customers, so that when they do that Google search, because they always do, then they're going to recognize, oh, there's Frank's shoe store. I've seen that. Okay, I know I'm comfortable with his content, so now I'll go and visit. So there's a bit of a melding that happens, but if Frank doesn't show up in the search result, then forget it. The customer's not coming in. So why does that first page matter? Because customers Google what they want to purchase about 80% of the time before they go and make a purchase nowadays. Digital is almost always part of a purchase decision. So if your customers are Googling the restaurant or the coffee shop, they have to be able to find you. Okay. So who else can you expect to be there? And who else has participated in the program? So I'm going to give you a couple of quick examples of businesses that have participated in Get Found on Google. And then we'll talk a little bit about who else you might expect to be there. So Brandy and Tracy, who are watching live, they will be there. But some of the other businesses that you might recognize here in Regina that have been through the program include Dimension 11. Dimension 11 has been in business for 38 years here in Regina, and they're a human resource consulting firm. Evolution Coaching, Langan Health and Safety, which competes with a number of national firms in terms of providing health and safety wear. They've been through the class. Cleaning with Class. They saw remarkable results after they had a chance to participate in the program. And just in talking with Christy last week, in fact, some of her testimonials are in our video library if you'd like to take a look. But Christy has some great stories to tell about having been through the class. Prairie Center for Mindfulness. They are a mindfulness practice. As well, Joanne is a psychologist. So she's been through the program, and again, she's got a really unique business niche, and so it was a great chance for her to participate. Some of the others that you might recognize, the Chiropractors Association of Saskatchewan. They've been through the program, as well as Advanced Leadership. So there's a fairly extensive list of businesses. There's a number of others, and I won't list them all, but there's a number of businesses that have had a chance to participate in the program, and every one of them has good results to talk about when they're done the program, because they have the confidence and the knowledge they needed to be able to move through the program. So one of the questions I got, and it was a question that I hadn't had before, but someone asked me whether or not there was a guarantee for the program. And you know, at first I sort of said, well, what kind of guarantee are you thinking? Well, are you going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to understand? And as I mentioned earlier, I can't guarantee that you're going to be on the first page of Google, but what I can guarantee is that if after participating in the class, if you still get stuck, then we're going to work with you one-on-one to help you get through whatever the sticking point is. So if you have problems with your listing, if you're struggling with something in your social media or your website, we're going to work with you one-on-one to help you understand where it is that you're getting stuck. If that still doesn't work for you, then absolutely we would refund your money. But we've never had that situation happen. In fact, we've never even had a situation where someone comes back after the class and says, hey, I didn't get anything out of this class, and you know, I want to cash in on the guarantee. So I put that out there. If you do find that you don't get anything from the class, you're more than welcome to follow up with us and let us know. So that kind of leads me into the next question that we had. And somebody said, are you going to be available later for questions? So Get Found on Google, again, is really unique because we live here. We work directly with businesses in Saskatchewan. And while we do have clients outside of the borders, our primary clients are here in Saskatchewan. So we're not going anywhere. We're not taking off you know, back to a warm destination or back to Toronto or Calgary or Vancouver. We live here. And so, yeah, absolutely. If you have questions, you are more than welcome to send us an email, give us a call and say, hey, we talked about all this listing stuff and I'm trying to log in and I just can't get there. And we're going to help you. We're going to make sure that you can get logged in and that you have the tools and the knowledge that you need. Because that's something that's really important to me personally. When I started the business, my goal was to help as many local business owners as I could and help them understand what they needed to do online to be successful. So absolutely, we're still here. So the next question I had is, what am I to learn? And I kind of touched on a number of those pieces throughout. So there is 4 modules in the program. We talk about listings, reputation, keywords, and website. And I did reference SEO, or search engine optimization, earlier. And SEO is what determines whether or not Google lists your website when a search happens. We're going to talk about social media. And in fact, when we talk about social media, one of our sponsors is BLG Business Solutions. And Brandy's with us right now in the live session. But they are a sponsor and a co-presenter of this session. And so in that session, we're going to talk about social media and how a local business can leverage social media to increase awareness amongst customers. And Brandy spends tons of time in that social media space, and she's recently made some changes to her business, but her knowledge as far as social media goes is just as deep as a well. She knows the ins and outs. So she's a great resource that we will have on hand that day to ask your social questions to. And what I'm most looking forward to about this presentation is her and I have a little bit different sort of point of view when it comes to social. And it's not a right and wrong, but it'll make for a great discussion, because social is a fantastic opportunity for some businesses, but it doesn't work for everyone. And we're going to have that conversation about, you know, maybe what are the right types of businesses, or what is the right time to use social media to raise awareness for your business. And then what are the times that it's not going to work, or, you know, she wouldn't recommend it. So we'll absolutely spend some time there. And then our 4th module is online advertising. Now, lots of our participants are familiar with traditional media, where they've purchased newspaper or TV or radio, sponsored events, put out portable signs. So we're gonna talk specifically about online advertising. And again, we've got a partner from the community. S Media is a local online advertising company. They too are a sponsor of the event. And they're going to come in and they're going to talk a little bit about when is a good time to advertise your business online, and when it's not. Again, and the unique thing about this session is it's not going to just be high level theoretical. We're actually going to log in. We're going to show you how to create a AdWord account or a social media ad manager account. So we're going to give you a lot of that how to. It'll totally be up to you if you decide that you want to pursue any type of online advertising. But we're going to give you the tools that you need to be able to do your online advertising. And having S Media there with us that day, they've got oodles and oodles of experience. So they'll be a great resource to be able to tap into and say, well, I tried this and this worked, and how come this didn't work for me, and things like that. So, okay, what else we got here? So I'm not going to spend too much time on what you've already seen online, but of course the things that we're going to focus on is finding those ready to buy customers, the fastest way to get your website found, how you manage the online information about your business, the tools and strategies with the greatest impact on your internet search result, and we're going to talk about how you can do a really quick speed search when you want to tune up either your website or your social media. We'll also talk about the importance of using your customer search terms and how to find out what your customer is searching for. And then we'll talk about using your website, as I say, for conversion or a lead generation tool. Okay. When we talk about social media, we're going to have a conversation around where do your customers spend their discretionary time. Okay, so knowing where a customer is spending discretionary time has a lot to do with how you can get in front of them. And let's see here, what else we got? Oh, when and where, of course, is our next session. Thursday, September 27th, 8:30 to 4:30 at the Fairfield Inn and Suites here in Regina. And someone asked, is the course available online? And no, it's not available online. This is an in-person, hands-on course. You need to be able to attend in person to get the level of support from the staff that will have in attendance, whether you already know that you're bumping into some challenges online, or in case you do bump into any kind of sort of hurdle that day, you'll be able to get some answers. What else can I tell you? I don't think there's anything else, and I think we've answered all of the questions that are in the comment box. If you are watching the replay, you're more than welcome to leave another question in the comment box, and we will respond to that question. But let's get to the bonuses. Let's get to the good stuff. So if you go ahead and register, and you'll have to reference this webinar by letting me know that you've gone ahead. What I'll get you to do is leave your email address in the comment section, and I will delete that later once we've got your email address. But what will happen is you leave your email address in the comment section, and we're going to do two things for you. The first is going to be to make sure that you're prepared for the 27th, and we're going to set your listing up for you at no additional cost. So usually a listing setup is $150, but in this case, if you're registering for Get Found on Google, there's no additional cost to do that listing setup. We just need to know, in fact, that you need a hand doing it. So as long as you've registered in advance, we can go ahead and get that done for you. The big one, and this is a good one, I referenced earlier that we're going to do a section on websites and search engine optimization. And because I know that can be pretty uncomfortable for a number of business owners, we're going to go ahead and we're going to provide you with a copy of an SEO report for free. So that's typically something that we charge for. But in this case, because you're coming to the workshop and you've listened to this webinar, we're going to provide that report at no cost. And that report literally tells you, here's exactly what you need to do to get your business moving up in the search ranks. So it's everything from your listing, your websites, there's something called metadata that the report talks about, and you'll learn lots about that on the 27th. But metadata is how Google reads your website. If Google doesn't know what your business is about, then there's no opportunity for Google to serve up your website when the time comes. So by registering after you listen to this webinar, you're going to get that report for free as well. So there's two things that are going to be included, your listing creation at no additional cost and your SEO report at no additional cost. And that doubles the value of Get Found on Google right there. So that was all the questions that I had. If anyone else has, or I guess it's all the answers I had to the questions I already had. If anyone else has questions, now would be a great time to ask. I'm just quickly looking into the comments to see what else has come back. Thanks, Donna. I really appreciate that. Yeah, in person. In person is so important to me. Being able to see the whites of someone's eyes and build up a relationship, that is just so, so important to me. So thank you. All right, it doesn't look like there's any additional questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut our session down. If you'd like to activate those 2 bonuses, I need you to leave your email address in the comment section. And as soon as I have that email address, I will send you off the information that we need. And as well, I will delete your email address from comments just to make sure that nobody else gets their hands on that information. So thank you very much for everyone for tuning in today. We're really excited to see you at Get Found on Google on September 27th at the Fairfield Inn and Suites here in Regina. If you do have questions, leave them in the comment box and we will respond to you later. Thanks.